Welcome to Beth's Happy Home. As soon as you are done with your Christmas meal or any turkey meal, you want to strip the meat off of the bones and separate the dark meat from the light meat so that you can handle them separately. You're going to use them for a little bit different purpose. So your white meat is going to be ideal for salads. Your dark meat is going to be ideal for soups and stews. So once you have them separated, you'll go ahead and refrigerate them. You probably won't want to can them until the next day. But when you're ready to can them, make sure you have clean pint jars. Pints are about the right size for most meals. And just take your chilled meat and chop it into smaller pieces so that it fits easily into the jars. And then just plop it right into the jars. White meat, dark meat separate. It's not going to matter if you mix them a little bit, but if you tend to keep them separate, you're going to appreciate it. Don't fill them any higher than that bottom rim of the jar, and the bottom rim of the neck of the jar, that is. And once they're good and full, you're going to take a half teaspoon of salt and just dump it right on the top of it. And when you have all of your jars full, then you move on to the next step, which is to add some water to each of them. Go ahead and start with hot water. You may as well give your processing a little bit of a head start. So just pour it over the top, right where the salt is, so that it will dissolve the salt. Pour it right up to the bottom of the neck of the jar, and then you're going to need to release it, release all the bubbles using a knife. So go ahead and fill them all up, and then take a table knife and release those bubbles. So you'll see that you'll need to add a little bit of water after you have done those, after you've put the knife down, but you just want it to the bottom of that rim. And after you've done that, and there's nothing above it, wipe it off with a paper towel, and then run your finger around the top to make sure that there's no nick in the bottle, no chip, and no salt, no bit of meat clinging to the top. And then once you've done that with all the jars, go ahead and screw on your lid, tight but not wrenched down. Then pop them into your jar. For this size of a canner, it will fit 5 bottles, even though actually 7 jars will fit in the pot. The lid won't fit on tightly when you do it that way. So only 5, or if you're using a hot pot, it'll take 4. Add a quart of water so it's about 2 inches deep in the bottom of either kind of a pot. After you've placed your lid, you want to let the steam come up in a steady stream, and then put a 15-pound weight on top. And once it starts to hiss, you'll process it for an hour. This has processed for an hour. It's been cooling for about another hour, and so it's ready to come out of the pot. And I can see already that each of these jars has sealed already as it cooled inside the pot. And now all that's left to do is to let them cool completely, and I will wash them off in some soapy water. They'll be ready to put on my shelf and store for a day when I don't have time to cook meat from scratch. And they're going to be delicious. And that's all there is to it. Thanks for watching, and come back soon.